Welcome Trinidad and Tobago to our News 4 report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited and the Ministry of Communications. I'm Nicola Barreto. Let's take a look at the headlines. Tributes pour in for the late Carl Hudson Philip QC. OGT Engineer in Training Program launched. And First Lady Rima Carmona appeals for the visually impaired to be treated equally. Thank you for joining us. The passing of Queen's Counsel Carl Hudson Philip is being met with much sadness. Prime Minister the Honourable Kamla Persad-Bissessar, together with Attorney General the Honourable Alan Ramlogan and High Commissioner to the UK Gavin Nicholas, issued statements upon receiving the news of his passing.
A legal luminary and Grand Master, just some of the words used to describe Queen's Counsel Carl Hudson Philip by the AG and Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar following the news of his passing. The former judge of the International Criminal Court and former Attorney General of Trinidad and Tobago passed away at the age of 80. His career was filled with many accolades, including Attorney General of Trinidad and Tobago from 1969 to 1973 before going into private practice and becoming Queen's Counsel after only 11 years in practice. In 2003, he was elected judge of the First International Criminal Court ICC panel in The Hague. On the word of his death, many sent their condolences, including Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar, Attorney General Alan Ramlogan, and High Commissioner to the UK Gavin Nicholas. In recollection of his contribution to the legal fraternity in Trinidad and Tobago, AG Ramlogan says his position on the ICC paved the way for future nationals such as President Anthony Carmona SC, who recently resigned from the ICC to assume the presidential post, and Justice Jeffrey Andrew Henderson, who is presently sitting as a judge of the ICC. Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar says his death leaves a void in the legal profession in Trinidad and Tobago, as he was a lawyer par excellence and a legal luminary who brought dignity and honor to his profession. He was very articulate and earned the respect of all, the bench, the bar, and the general public. The AG recalled his role as lead prosecutor against 19 persons charged with the murder of Grenadian Prime Minister Maurice Bishop and members of the People's Revolutionary Government in 1983 in Grenada, as well as lead counsel for the state in the extradition of former insurance executive Dennis Davidson from Orlando, Florida in 1987. His distinguished career not only spanned contributions to the legal fraternity, but also included participation in political spheres. In 1980, he founded the Organization for National Reconstruction, a political party which contested the 1981 general elections. Despite getting the second highest vote tally in the election, the ONR failed to secure a single seat in Parliament. The ONR went on to form an accommodation with the National Alliance to contest the 1983 local government elections and went on to merge with those parties to form the National Alliance for Reconstruction. NAR contested the 1986 general elections, winning 33 of the 36 seats to form government. In 2010, he was bestowed with the country's highest award, the Order of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. It is reported that he recently left these shores to visit his family in London, where he died peacefully in his sleep on Wednesday night. Kimberam Calawan, News 4.
New Spanish ambassador presents his credentials to President Carmona. That's coming up right after the break. Stay with us. A former Director General at Spain's Ministry of Foreign Affairs is the new ambassador of Spain to Port of Spain. Jose Maria Fernandez Lopez de Torizo has presented his letters of credentials to His Excellency Anthony Thomas Aquinas Carmona, President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Up until his appointment as ambassador to Trinidad and Tobago, Mr. Fernandez Lopez de Torizo served as an advisor to the Technical Cabinet of Spain's Undersecretary of Foreign Affairs and Cooperation.
Ambassador Jose Maria Fernandez Lopez de Torizo is the newest diplomat to take up residence in Trinidad and Tobago. He holds a 5-year degree in philosophy and educational sciences. He began his diplomatic career in 1991 though this will be his first time as the head of a mission. When the ambassador met President Carmona, after their formal greeting, both men enjoyed a quiet chat in the presence of several secondary school students who were invited by the president to witness the presentation of documents for the accreditation of the new ambassador. President Carmona shared some of his ideas for youth development with the new ambassador, telling him he wants to create a sense of ambition among the youths of Trinidad and Tobago.
I am engaged in creating an atmosphere where there would be a connect between students and governance, because I've felt over the years that there appears to be a type of disconnect, and that in fact that our young people need to appreciate not only the workings of governance, but also they need to in fact be given a sense of vision and to have in nurturing them a focus of what is possible, what is probable, and what they are capable as young people, as persons in our society growing up. That there was a time that we once sat radio sitting, that we were students like them and we never taught.
After being encouraged to speak with the students, the new ambassador related Spain's gratitude to the government of Trinidad and Tobago for its partnership and hospitality. He then encouraged the students to aim high, work hard, and to always have a purpose in all they set out to do.
Spain is a European country, it's an industrialized nation. We share with Trinidad and Tobago our willingness to create development for both two nations. We have many things in common. Spanish, as the president said, is widely spoken from the United States to Argentina, from Mexico to Cuba. So it's a great language of culture. My message to you would be very much in the way you put it, Mr. President. Have always a purpose in life, have a vision, and set your determination to obtain these goals. But you have to be aware as well that many of the goals you're going to, or you tend to achieve, you won't be able to get them unless you create a team. So you must be able to communicate, and you must be able to convince other people to work with you in achieving these goals. And this is called leadership. So my suggestion would be never be afraid of exercising leadership. Prepare for that.
Ambassador Fernandez Lopez de Riso has been previously posted in Namibia, Tunisia, Nicaragua, Cuba, and Italy. Felicia Wilson, Mon News 4.
Meanwhile, all persons must be treated kindly, equally, and with respect, more so in cases where circumstances force an individual to do things in a different way because he or she is visually impaired. This advice from Her Excellency Rima Carmona, First Lady of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, to the new Council of the Blind Welfare Association. Her Excellency urged that in the spirit of humanity, charity must be replaced with solidarity.
The new Council of the Blind Welfare Association has been urged not to be daunted by challenges they may face, adversity, nor by detractors, as they seek to stop injustice, unfair and insensitive treatment against those visually impaired. The new council was handed their instrument of appointment by Her Excellency Rima Carmona, First Lady of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Her Excellency told the Council it was now their responsibility to sensitize all citizens of the need for a level playing field for everyone, especially those differently able.
In our country, the blind and differently abled are everywhere and nowhere. They are in the streets, in our families, in our schools, but they are often made invisible because wider society chooses to ignore a demographic which can enrich our social and cultural bank. Yours is an onerous responsibility given the indifference and sometimes callousness displayed by our citizenry towards persons who are not, and I quote, normal. You have to continue to sensitize all and sundry of the need to create a level playing field for all citizens, especially those who are visually impaired, to be treated fairly so that they can aspire and fulfill their ambitions.
Mrs. Carmona said the challenges the visually impaired encounter must be given a voice, and the Blind Welfare Association must be that voice. Felicia Wilson Mon, News 4.
When we come back, OJT engineer in training launch. Stay with us. It was a proud moment for the Minister of Tertiary Education and Skills Training as he launched the OJT Sectoral Engineering Training Program. Senator Fazal Karim officially launched the program at the MIC Institute of Technology before a large gathering of stakeholders.
December 11, 1974 to date, MIC celebrates 40 years as an organization. It is fitting that this board be given the opportunity to transition MIC to the next 40 years of growth and sustainability. Concomitant with the rebranding to MIC Institute of Technology is the birth of the OJT Engineering Sectorial. We firmly believe that this program contributes significantly to MIC's mission, which is to be a catalyst for developing national technical vocational competencies for competitive industries through quality training, innovation, manufacturing, and engineering products and services.
Through a collaboration of the United Nations Development Programme and the United Nations Industrial Development Organization, the Factory Training Model of Training or Engineering Training Program was spawned. It was launched in the 1970s with the intention of achieving engineers who sought to learn competencies consistent with industry practices, persons who sought qualification to enter the workforce, as well as assist persons graduating with BSc degrees in engineering to interface with practical technology training to develop the innovation spirit. It has since undergone numerous modifications, all in an effort to meet the changing demands of the manufacturing sector. The latest development saw the Metal Industries Company Limited partnering with the Ministry of Tertiary Education and Skills Training to introduce the On-the-Job Training Sectorial Engineering Training Program. Present at the launch on Wednesday were the 15 trainees who would embark on their 2-year journey under the program.
I want to ask the MIC as well that while you engage in this journey for 2 years, that you build your portfolio of qualifications using the CVQ, the Caribbean Vocational Qualification, which has marketability and portability, and which enables you to acquire the CARICOM Skills Passport in the event you want to work in other parts of the Caribbean.
The Honourable Minister hopes to see this program expanded across Trinidad and Tobago.
I want to ask Mr. Lee, because of the success of this program for 40 years, to consider launching a similar internship program in the South. When we launch our new Penal MIC Technology Center, and I'm giving the assurance it will be launched in May of 2014, this year, I want to ask Mr. Lee and the board to consider launching a similar project of engineers internship. And sometimes we are reminded that we tend to forget Tobago. And in the equality and equity of treatment of our sister, I want to ask Mr. Lee as well to consider launching a similar program in Tobago.
Minister Karim announced that the OJT program may be rebranded as Intern TNT, as he said that in fact is what the program is about. He also revealed that he would go before the Cabinet on Thursday with a Cabinet note to increase the stipend for OJT trainees. The engineering training program is expected to positively contribute to national development while raising the standard of work that employers can expect from potential employees.
It is evident that the OJT is committed to preparing a productive, highly skilled and competitive workforce for Trinidad and Tobago. At this point, I will just say stay tuned. Stay tuned, as there will be fundamental improvements with the OJT program. There will be recognized certified programs on hands-on training as its core function. There will be a name change in addition to attitudinal change of our trainees, our staff, our providers, and all stakeholders involved.
Nikolai Edwards, News 4.
Local companies are being encouraged to implement health, safety and environment as a vital part to their organizational structure. This was the main focus during the National Excellence in Health, Safety and Environment HSE Awards function hosted by AmCham and the Ministry of Labour and Small and Micro Enterprise Development.
Recognizing the importance of health and safety on the job depends on the responsibility of the employer. This was a message Labour Minister Errol MacLeod delivered during the annual National Excellence in HSC Awards. The function was held to honor companies who have established health and safety practices within the framework of their day-to-day operations. The awards function is as a result of the public-private partnership between the American Chamber of Commerce of Trinidad and Tobago and the Ministry of Labour. As a result, this year's awards were open to companies in the wider community.
Businesses must adopt innovative strategies to conduct their operations in a socially responsible manner. This includes compliance with international standards and the best practices in occupational safety and health that reflect concern for the environment.
Also addressing those in attendance, AmCham President Hugh Howard says promoting HSC standards at the workplace can serve to create a better environment not only in the workplace but at home and in our daily lives.
Employees who operate in a safe environment are likely to exhibit greater loyalty to the organization, be more productive, and to become ambassadors of HSE excellence and best practices. The conjoint effect of improved HSE standards and employee satisfaction and commitment is increased business competitiveness in the local, regional, and international arenas, which in turn translates to a country's sustainable economic development.
Participating organizations competed for 3 awards, including Excellent HSE Performance, Most Improved HSE Performance, and Outstanding HSE Project, while companies were categorized by sizes small, medium, and large, and those in the energy, manufacturing, and services sector. Chief Judge Hannah Way Medine gave the criteria outlined for judging.
The Excellence in HSE Awards scheme is intended to promote the implementation of best practice HSE management systems, which embody the classical model of the Plan, Do, Check, Act cycle for continual improvement. Hence, the criteria for each of the 3 categories of awards were primarily based on these system elements as specified in widely adopted standards such as OSAS 18001 and International Standard ISO 14001.
This year saw sponsors, including recently state-acquired PPGPL, showcasing elements within their operations that have contributed to the success of health and safety implemented. Kimberly Calawan, News 4.
News 4 continues right after the break. Stay with us. The Ministry of Food Production hosted a first-of-its-kind function that recognized the many contributions of farmers to this country. The function, which is anticipated to be a yearly event, will boost the morale of farmers and forge stronger relationships between the ministry and the farmers.
Farmers across Trinidad and Tobago play an important role in reducing the nation's food import bill, as well as supplying citizens with a number of their favorite local foods. On Sunday, the Ministry of Food Production hosted a special function at the Cove Point Lisa's Chamber of Commerce to honor the hard work of farmers. Senator the Honorable David Maharaj explained the premise behind the initiative.
Over the years, there has never been any kind of real expression of appreciation for the various farming groups and by extension the farmers of the nation. And this year was a tremendous, this year being 2013, was a tremendous year for the agricultural sector. For the first time in the history of Trinidad and Tobago, we have had 4 quarters of consecutive growth in the agricultural sector. And of course, that didn't mean or came as a result of the minister going out and planting in the fields, nor in fact the ministry staff. It came about because of government policies and government incentives in order to provide the enabling environment for the farmers to do what they do best, which is to engage in agriculture, aquaculture, as the case may be.
The minister said as a token of appreciation, the ministry decided to extend its gratitude to the nation's farmers, as well as recognize some outstanding farmers at the function. The farmers came out in their numbers, putting aside their farming tools and boots for shirts, ties, and cocktail dresses.
All groups across Trinidad and Tobago were invited to send at least 2 representatives to represent their groups, and it would also afford the groups an opportunity to meet members of staff of the ministry and its agencies, as well as myself, and informally we could have discussions and chat about various things that affect them. We have with us here today all the agencies, including ADB, Seafood Industry, Cocoa Board, NAMDEFCO here, for example, the divisions of the ministry, including the Sugarcane Feed Center, Engineering, Land Management, Agri Services, the various regions, and they have members of staff here. So if the farmers have any particular issue that they wish to address with any of these areas, they could lodge it directly here.
One of the farmers took to the podium to express his gratitude to the Minister of Food Production.
For the past year, whatever farmers have benefited is due mainly to our proactive minister and his officers in the Ministry of Food Production. Thank you again for your invitation and your recognition of farmers as important people in the development of the sector and playing a tremendous role in ensuring that we achieve a food secure nation.
Permanent Secretary Myrna Thompson thanked the farmers for their support and continued dedication to the agriculture sector.
Thank you to all farmers of Trinidad and Tobago for having, been sustaining and having caused the agricultural sectors to survive, and therefore, and what we are seeing now in terms of growth in the agriculture sector. And we look forward to your further collaboration with you in terms of achieving greater productivity and performance in the agriculture sector. I thank you.
The evening ended with all those in attendance socializing and enjoying each other's company. 2014 is expected to be a year of continued growth and an opportunity for the strengthening of relationships between the Ministry of Food Production and local farmers. Nikolai Edwards, News 4.
Well, that's how we wrap up this edition of our News 4 report. I'm Nicola Barreto. Thank you for joining us.